Irish Zero here. Hope you're all well. I'm good. Thank you very much for asking. So, yesterday I saw Trainspotting 2, the sequel to Trainspotting, and here's my review. Now, I'm going to try and make this quick because I've done this video like 3 times and there's been problems, so I'm just going to burn through it. No spoilers. No spoilers at all, so don't worry about that. The main tagline I'd put on this wasn't as good as the original, but I still loved it. The fact that it wasn't as good as the original, I don't think is in any way negative, because I'm not sure it was trying to be. I think this was just a film to say, hey, this is where these guys are now. 20 years later, here's Renton, here's Begbie, here's Sick Boy, here's Spud. And that's fine because I absolutely loved all those characters in the original film. Now, it looks like it's its own film. I didn't read all of the sequel book porno, but it definitely looks like they're taking elements from it, or they took elements from it. The fact that, you know, where Renton was the whole time, what Spud's been doing, Sick Boy, especially Begbie, I think you can probably tell in the trailer what he's been up to the last couple of years. And, you know, it's them kind of getting back together and trying to do something. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but it's not what porno is. Porno is about them trying to make a porn film or starting a porn company. That's not what this is about. So you can forget about that. The movie is really, really solid. It doesn't have as many memorable points, I think, as the first movie had, or could even say iconic points. Like, it didn't have the scene, you know, any scenes like in Seymour Kitchen where, you know, you had Spud. We all know that scene. Or where Begbie starts to fight in the bar, or the infamous, you know, baby crawling on the ceiling when Mark is going through his withdrawals. It doesn't have stuff like that, but the moments it does have are still there. It's not like, okay, here's our version of this. Now there is there's a kind of the new Choose Life rant, but it's not at the start or at the end of the film. I can't really go in. I'm not really going to go into it, but it's not like, hey, we need to update this now because the original one wouldn't work on today's world. And it's just good where all that stuff is. It plays on nostalgia, I think, just enough, where it's not beating you over the head with it. That being said, I would have preferred if they just talked about what happened in the past film rather than showing clips, because they do that. They show clips when they're talking about what happened. Would have preferred if they just, because chances are anyone who's seen this already saw the first film, so they know exactly what you're talking about. But they did it anyway. I don't know, maybe it's just to eat up screen time. I don't know. Didn't really matter. Like, it didn't bother me as much because I love those scenes, but it's just, maybe you just didn't have to do that. You could have just talked about it. And it would have been more personal, honestly, if they kind of went to the audience, hey, do you remember this? Kind of when you're telling your friends, it's like, hey, do you remember that time when we did this? I mean, you're not going to take out your phone and remember while you're showing it, like if you have video. No, so you just talk about it. That would have made it more personal, because the director, Danny Boyle, he said in interviews, like, well, you know, people talk about these guys like by their names, not just, you know, by character or whatever. They talk about their names like they were real people. And it would have been cool if they did that. If they were reminding us, like as if they were telling us a story, hey, do you remember when this happened? And it's a minor trick. In terms of the comedy, the movie's mostly comedy. It's really, really funny. There's no real tear-jerking moments. I don't think there's meant to be any. You can kind of see where the ending is going, what's going to happen fairly early on, but it doesn't, like, this isn't a movie which needs to have like a shocking, huge, like M. Night Shyamalan twist, but it was a bit too obvious near the middle of the film what was going to happen, but it didn't really going to take anything away, because overall the ending was really nice, and it's nice to see what happens to these characters at the very end. You know, and that's always a good thing. Anyway, overall, I'll repeat the tagline. Trainspotting 2, not as good as the original, but still really, really good. So I highly recommend you see it. And if you like this video, I recommend you subscribe, blah, 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 YouTube, whatever. So that's it for me for today. So until next time, whenever that is, no clue. Maybe I won't do a video until, I don't know, maybe Wolverine comes out. Which I tried to avoid that trailer, the new Logan trailer. I didn't go online to watch it. And as soon as I sat down, I came in a bit late. As soon as I sat down in the cinema, what came up? New trailer Logan. The new trailer Logan. That doesn't make any sense. New trailer for Logan. Anyways, so till then, I say to y'all, have a good one.